episode number 75. My name is Krista, and I'm your host. It's July 10th, 2024, and on today's show, I'm happy to be joined by another Nashville mama. Her name is Laura Hartley, and she's the incredible mom behind TNLittles, sharing kid-friendly activities in and around Nashville, Tennessee. She has 3 kids, is a part-time school librarian, and is married to one of my former coworkers, which is how we got connected. On today's show, Laura shares her journey from navigating motherhood during the pandemic to creating a popular Instagram account that offers a treasure trove of activities, travel tips, and local insights for families in the Nashville area or for those visiting the Nashville area. We dive into her unique experiences with parenting and invaluable mom hacks that make everyday life a little bit smoother, whether it's organizing chores with a fun pom-pom jar system or setting up engaging activity stations. Laura's practical tips are sure to inspire and empower you. But before we get into that, I just want to say thanks for tuning in, Mama. I started this podcast because babies don't come with instructions. As of this recording, I am chasing around a 5-year-old that no amount of Googling, mom groups, or books were able to prepare me for. There's a lot of stuff people don't talk about when it comes to pre-pregnancy, during pregnancy, postpartum, parenthood. And as someone who was previously terrified of all of the above, I'm here to help you pull back the curtain on all of it. And every now and then, it may get a little messy. We may share a little TMI, but that's why you're here, right? My goal is you'll leave every episode feeling refreshed, inspired, and hopeful, knowing you are not on this mom journey alone. Now, there's a lot of subject matter to cover when it comes to mom life, and we are covering it all. If you're not following this podcast yet, make sure you hit that follow or subscribe button wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss a single episode. Now, let's dive into my conversation with Laura Hartley, the lovely mom behind TNLittles. Laura, welcome to Secret Mom Hacks. I'm really excited to have you on the podcast.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
And just to give our listener a opportunity to know how we're connected, I used to work with your husband in the music industry. So he and I, of course, are connected on LinkedIn, and he's always so great about posting on LinkedIn. I am not, but he's phenomenal about what's happening in Nashville and what's going on in the music industry and everything. And then I saw him post something about you and TNLittles, and I was like, this is really cool. I need to learn more about this. And I started going down my rabbit hole that we all go down when we sometimes jump on Instagram. And I was like, she really needs to be on Secret Mom Hacks. So this is going to be a fun conversation today. Well, so you are a part-time school librarian. You are a wife. You have 3 kiddos. And what are their age ranges?
I have a almost 4-year-old, about to be 4, little girl. And then I have a 6 and an 8-year-old boys. So they are,
Okay.
So 4 to 8.
Okay. And you run TNLittles. So tell us the story behind that.
So I work part-time as a librarian. I job share with another librarian, and I have had this schedule for the past probably 6 or so years where I'm home 2 days a week with my kids who are home. And so TNLittles started in spring of 21. So we're coming right up at 3 years I've been doing it. And it just started with right after COVID. I was home with my middle son and my daughter, my youngest daughter, and we just were doing things, and I was getting all of these ideas from other moms who are doing things on Instagram, just sharing like their activities at home or their activities around town. And it was so helpful to me because sometimes it's just hard to come up with the things. Even if I have a million ideas, but it's all, sometimes I'm just like, what are we going to do today? And I would sometimes just go to those accounts that I know and trust and be like, yeah, let's go to that park. We haven't been there in a while. Not even like new ideas, but just like reminders of ideas. And I got to a point where I was like, we're doing these things. I love it coming from being in the classroom and in the library, we do activities at home. And I was like, I'm just going to start sharing what we're doing because I know how helpful these accounts are to me. Like someone else, I just don't feel like there can be enough of like information when sharing, and even repeat information. Like nothing's new under the sun, but just having those ideas come back in front of you and be like, oh yeah, that is a great craft to fill my afternoon or whatever it is. So that's how it came about. We just started sharing activities and things. Then we started doing story times. So since I'm a librarian, that was kind of a natural thing. It was really a time after COVID that libraries weren't doing story times yet. There were a lot of things that were still closed, and it was just a way for people to do. We did outdoor things. We did some indoor story times with like masks on, and it was just a way to get out and to be able to do things when things hadn't reopened up yet. So that's been a lot of fun. I still do pop-up story times around town, and just getting to meet people and families who are repeat that keep coming and get to know each other. So like the community that's built there is a lot of fun. But yeah, so we do restaurant reviews and park reviews and all kinds of activities. And then we also love to travel as a family. So we try to share whenever we go on trips, just traveling with 3 kids and what that's like. And it's different for everybody, but something we enjoy to do. And so I love sharing those adventures as well.
That's so fun. And so, as a mom in the Nashville area, certainly I look to Instagram and, well, primarily Instagram. I'm not on TikTok.
I'm not either.
Okay. Okay. It's not just me.
No, Todd keeps telling me to get on, and I'm like, I don't know. I just can't barely keep up with Instagram. So
exactly same. Okay, so we'll just talk Instagram. But yeah, I'm always looking. I mean, from the time our daughter was, I mean, certainly when she started getting mobile, I was like, I need activities and sensory things. And just what are some things that I can be doing at home with her that's different than what we have, and what's easy and quick using things we already have in the house. And certainly the internet was and continues to be just a plethora of inspiration and so helpful. And I think that's great for anyone listening outside of the Nashville area. Come check out Nashville, see what we have to offer. And if you have kids, you can check out Laura's account, check out TNLittles, and see all of the fun things to do while you're in the Nashville area.
Yes. And on that, I would love when we go visit places, of course, we can just look up and people have blogs and things like that. But the best way to see a city when you have kids is to know what locals are doing, right? And so I'm like, how to connect. So yes, you should. I just like follow places that people I find that are locals that share things like this in other cities. I go ahead and follow them if I think I'm going to visit there one day, because you get so many like insider scoops, and Nashville's so known for bachelorette and fun and party, which it is, but it's so fun for families too. So there's so many things to do here.
Well, tell us, if you don't mind, however much or little you care to share about a birth story or two. You've had 3 kiddos. I just have the one so far, but my friends who have multiples always talk about how, oh, you've done it the one time, so that second time you think, oh, it'll just be like this, and so often it's not. So I'm curious if that's your experience too.
Well, so here's the thing. I have found that as my kids get older, I just forget phases. Like you remember certain things, but I just cannot remember certain things probably that I've blocked out, like long sleepless nights and things like that. But all that to say, I did not love being pregnant. I mean, parts of it were okay, but generally I could have just skipped that part of it. But my births were really quite seamless. I was induced all 3 times with all 3 of the kids. They were very scheduled, which is like our life in general. We're very scheduled people. Feel very nervous with the first one because you read things and hear things about inductions that just don't go well. But we really had pretty seamless pregnancies and births. A little scare with my middle son with a breathing issue, but that it was fine. Not soon after, or soon after. the most interesting would be with my daughter. She was born March 12th, which was the same day that schools shut down, MMPS schools here for COVID. So I left the day before knowing I was going to be induced from work. I was going to be induced the next day. I gathered all my stuff, left stuff for like my maternity sub and like all the things, shut the library door, went home. And then on the news that night, they were like, school will be canceled tomorrow. And then I had friends that couldn't go back into the building for like a month to get any of their things. So it was just that was such a weird time anyway. But we hit it really just right with her. Our family was still able to come in and see us. And then when we got home, we had 5 days before at that time, I think 2 and 4-year-old boys, their daycare shut down. So all of my maternity plans of catching up on shows and just snuggling my baby we were thrown into just playing school at home with the newborn. So kind of interesting, but yeah, so it not too much of eventful. I didn't like being pregnant, which I hate to say, but some people do. My sister loves it. I just didn't. It's too uncomfortable. And then, but yeah, pretty easy going for us.
What is something no one told you about becoming a mom?
Everything. I feel like everything. Well, the one thing that I do remember about giving birth that no one told me this is like the one thing I tell people who are having babies, which is TMI, which is everything in birth, but is to make sure you take a stool softener, because if not, you might be in tears afterwards. And with my first one, I must have not been listening and I did it and it was terrible. But that's like my one piece of advice that I felt like I missed out on. But I think, and again, as my kids get older, I think it's just that it's so constant. Like it is such a constant thing and a mentally, emotionally draining thing that kids just never stop. And you have to, it's really like a journey of learning to, care for others in a way that even like my marriage, I don't have to, of like that selflessness and just the mental drain of everything, making all the decisions and everything like that. I don't know that, and it comes in waves. And of course, as you add kids, I think that becomes more, that then they can play with each other. So that's good. But it's just like a constant draining that you really have to prepare yourself for and fight against, and self-care and all of those things, which I'm not very good at. But yeah, that'd be the thing.
Well, that is a question that I did not send you, but we talk a lot about self-care on this podcast. Now, you just said you're not very good at self-care, but when you are good at it, what is your go-to self-care ritual or routine?
One thing that I've had the past couple of years, I'm terrible spending money on myself. Like I'm not. And Todd, my husband, the last 2 years, he gave me like the best birthday gift. He gave me a year's worth of, he called where I get facials done, like to get facials. And he gave me a gift card that would essentially cover like a year's worth if I go ever, however often. And that was so good just to have that set aside of like, the money's already spent. I just have to make the appointment. I loved going and just like more than just a facial, just relaxed and, all of that. So just having perks like that, or like after school Monday, I'd never do this, but I was like, I need to do this more. I left after school. My kids were in after school club and I just went for a 30-minute walk and soaked up the sun. I mean, I think soaking up any sun is a huge self-care for me. One of my favorite things. So just those types of things, I think. Yeah.
We all could use more of that in our life consistently.
Yes, most definitely.
Yes. And well, with the facials, to your point, the money's already set aside, and it's like, I don't like seeing things go to waste. So yeah, if I had that on my side of things, it's like, ooh, I would never miss that because I would not want to miss a month.
Right. Yeah. So good.
Now let's take a quick break. Hey, Secret Mom hackers. Are you a budget savvy family looking for a financial tool that can help you take control of your spending and savings? Well, I've got something fantastic to share with you. Cube Money. Cube Money is the ultimate budgeting solution that's tailor-made for families who want to manage their money with ease and precision. Here's why our family loves it. It's just like the envelope system we all know, but digitized. Imagine the simplicity of old school envelope budgeting, but with a modern twist. Cube Money digitizes the envelope system, allowing you to allocate funds to specific spending categories right from your smartphone. It's like having a set of virtual envelopes for groceries, entertainment, and more, all in one app. The whole family benefits. Cube Money isn't just for individuals. It's designed to accommodate the needs of your entire family. You can set up sub-accounts for your spouse and kids, helping everyone stay on the same financial page. It's a powerful tool for teaching financial responsibility to your children. Stress-free savings. Planning for the future is a breeze with Cube Money. You can easily allocate funds for savings goals, whether it's a family vacation, a new home, or an emergency fund. It's all about turning your financial dreams into reality. So if you're ready to simplify your family's budgeting, track your spending with precision, and achieve your financial goals, give Cube Money a try. Visit their website at Cube Money to learn more. That's QUBE money.com to learn more and use the discount code SECRETMOMHACKS, all one word, SECRETMOMHACKS, to get 2 months of their premium or family plans for free. Cube Money, on a mission to see you live more and worry less. Try Cube Money today. Now back to the show. What is a piece of baby or kid gear that has been a lifesaver for your family?
Yeah, I kind of had a hard time thinking of this too. I mean, again, I think that my brain just blocks things out. So I'm just going to talk from what is like current right now. And again, my kids are 4, 6, and 8. But one thing that is one of our go-to things is it's a toy, but it's Magnetiles. I don't know if you are familiar with Magnetiles, but we've probably had them. My kids have played with them from ages 2 until my oldest son is 8 right now. And it's a toy that they're just magnetic blocks that you build with, but they stick together. Picasso tiles, there's different brands, but we have a variety. They all really work together. But I would say that that is something that multi ages, like they all play well together with. Like it doesn't matter, like it's different ability levels, and just a toy that we add on to. We'll even, like, if we go on a car ride or to a grandparent's house or something, we'll even put them in a little bucket in the car, and that's like our toy we take, like, to somewhere that doesn't have toys. So it is just a very versatile toy that all of my kids have enjoyed for so long. Like, I'm shocked that for years we've gotten so much use out of them. I would definitely say, because sometimes that, I mean, I know it's not a gear, but it kind of is, because it brings them lots of entertainment and enjoyment. So that would be my plug, those magnetic towels for sure.
Yes, those are definitely a good way to keep the kiddos occupied outside of using a screen too. How do you keep it all together?
Well, I mean, obviously I don't. I don't have anything together, which I'm sure most moms feel that way. I feel like I feel like a hot mess all the time, but I will say that I do really enjoy. I'm around kids all the time. I'm around kids at school, I'm around kids at home. And so I feel like I enjoy that for the most part, like it's enjoyable, but I definitely wear out. And you can ask my good friends. I'm always just saying it is just so, like I said, so constant with just kids all the time, asking a million questions, different needs, crying here, crying there. And sometimes when I feel just like things are chaotic, I really fall back to having a schedule or having a checklist. Like on a weeknight or a school morning, we are very much, we need to have 2 hours before bed and I need 5 things done, I very much will regularly write on a little post-it note the 5 things. And my kids, and especially now that they're older, they will just go and they will check it off. They are very, I don't know if we've trained them to be like task oriented and want to check those things off, but like dinner, bath time, 2 sheets of homework, like whatever it is. And we always put something fun on there, like 30 minutes of, playing free play or whatever, and let them kind of choose the order, even just not just having to say. So I feel like, and on the weekends when they're like, we don't really, we try not to do screens during the week, but on the weekends we do. It's like the relaxed time we do screens, but instead of them saying, is it screen time yet? Is it screen time yet? Having kind of our day planned out on paper so that they can see it, or so they can see that we have a plan, is really helpful. I feel like in diminishes some questions that saves some brain space in our brains. So definitely for a
Yes.
routine, a schedule, a checklist. Even my 3-year-old, she can't read it, but it helps keep me organized and see what's what and what we have to do. So yeah, it's helpful.
That's smart. What is a tip or trick or piece of advice that you would share with another mama right now?
Mm. Well, one, clearly write everything down because you'll forget it all one day since I can't remember anything, which I do. I mean, and live back through pictures and photos and things like that. But this was something I had shared when we had that big snow week in Nashville. And a friend told me later that she tried this. And she was like, it was so helpful. So I'll share it here. But we sometimes, when we have those days when you're stuck at home or whatever it is, it's a summer day, it's a rainy day, whatever, and my kids just can't figure out what to do. And my kids really struggle with that sometimes. Sometimes they don't, but when they do, I feel like I found two things that really help them to get started when they are just at a loss of like picking from all the things that they are, blessed with and have. So one is like setting out or setting up kind of like stations. So it's not anything fancy, but maybe I will write down like 5 things. This is a complete teacher move, what they do at school. But even just picking out toys, nothing new, nothing fancy, but I'll say like we have an art station, we have a block station, we have a reading station, like maybe 5 things, and write it down and even like set it out. And it's really just like the books on the couch, the art supplies on the kitchen. It's not like I'm coming up with a creative, like big, elaborate thing, but setting out those specific things, the magnetiles and the blocks, and then having them, I give them like a coin or something to where they can, a Lego block or something where they can, and I'm like, okay, what station do you want to go to first? And then I set a timer for 30 minutes or 20 minutes. You could do shorter if you have younger kids, and they play. And it works most of the time. We don't do that every day, but when we need it and pull it out, it's so nice to just be able to. And then when the timer's up, I'm like, clean up, come back. And if they're not done, I kind of make them clean up anyway. And then I'm like, at the end, you can go back to your favorite station, and calling them stations or centers. I mean, it like works every time. I promise it does. So that's a good one to keep in your back pocket when you have, I don't know, but definitely picking like things that are not complicated, but just setting them out, making a little chart, and then having them choose which ones, where, how they want to move through it. It's great.
What is something that I didn't ask you that you wish I would have?
Oh, why does nobody think they have mom hacks? That's what I want to know. Everybody has. That's what you had said.
Everybody
I
does.
know, but what you think is a mom hack for you, like you don't realize it's a mom hack. You know what I mean? Like everybody just has I love this, and I love hearing what other people have to say and what works in their house. Okay, can I share one more thing? It's not a question,
Absolutely.
but this was another thing I was
Absolutely.
thinking of, something that works for us. We get our kids involved in our chores, and that is sometimes I want to pull my hair out, but sometimes it works so well, even for like my 3-year-old. I would say 3 or 4 is probably like when we make them start. But again, another teacher tool, definitely. But for the longest time, we would have just like a mason jar and 2 mason jars, one full of pom poms, one not. And every time they did a chore, they put a pom pom in. And I mean, chores like empty the dishwasher, they take the trash cans down. I just love hearing what other people do for their chores. They empty the laundry baskets, they make their beds, different things like that. That they take the little handheld vacuum and like vacuum under the table or like the stairs. One of my sons loves doing that. But anyways, all pick up sticks and rocks in the yard, like all random stuff that we don't want to do and need done. But it's so good. They love earning things. At least my kids do. And usually when they fill up their pom pom jar, they get an extra hour of TV or they get ice cream or whatever it is. So that's been super helpful. I have found on some days that we don't, sometimes we're like, these are just jobs that you have to do because you're part of the family, you know? And then sometimes when they're being a little bit more like, I don't want to help, we're like, you can earn some pom poms. And they are all about it. So that has been definitely a good trick that we've gotten, especially as our kids are getting older. And for us, I mean, they legit help us knock things out with and get things done quicker, which is what kids are for. You have all these kids, you should make them put them to work. I'm just kidding.
Yes. I'm so glad you brought that up though, seriously, because I really like the idea of the pom-pom jar. That's super smart. And I think just you were talking about laundry. You know, she's so good at sorting colors and shapes and all of this. So it's like, I need to have her sort her laundry. She could totally do that. Lights and darks. That's something that's so easy that I'm having to do already anyway. So
Or
that's
matching
something she could
socks,
start
or
doing.
sometimes I'll have my kids, like, especially in their closet, because they'll pull out their own clothes, but they leave the hangers. So I like make them go and get all the hangers and then put them at the end, which maybe is a little like much, but that, like, just things like that. Sometimes if we have little jobs, like take this here, take this there, I'll say, you work with me for, you know, do 5 small jobs with me and it's worth a pom pom. Like if it's just like little things to add up, they love doing that, like my assistant, and they take things everywhere. So but yeah, gotta
Yeah.
figure it out. And I would love to. Maybe I should do a post on that of like what chores are good for young kids, just to get ideas. I love something like a pom pom jar or a sticker chart or something, or even like beads on a bracelet, or but just that
Because it's
visual,
visual.
yeah, and to see,
Yes.
and even to where they can pick out like what are they working for. We always make. Sometimes my boys will work together. Sometimes they'll have their own jar, but like we a lot of times we'll say like, what are you working for, so that they know, they kind of commit to that and get excited. And then my last thing on that is that I feel like with younger, or if you're just starting out, to make it an attainable goal. So like we didn't start with a big jar, but as our kids get older, if they work together, we make them longer before they get their reward, right? They have to work more, but to where they're just starting out, we tried to make it like a smaller jar so that they were getting their reward quicker, and then it motivates them to like do it
Mhm.
again. So which is again a teacher tool.
I will take all of the teacher tools. As a non-teacher, I will take all of them.
Love
It's
it.
very helpful. Well, Laura, this has been fun. Anything else that you want to add to the conversation before we stop recording?
I don't think so, but I love that you're doing this, and it's so good to just hear like what other moms are doing and just their expertise. We're all experts at different things and have different strengths. So I love that, getting to hear just from different phases of life and phases of motherhood and things like that. So thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, that's a wrap for today's conversation with Laura. If you enjoyed our conversation, make sure you check out her socials, in particular her Instagram account, which you can find linked in the episode description, plus the show notes over at secretmomhacks.com/episode 75. I'm curious what your favorite part of our interview was. I hope you're walking away inspired with tips either for yourself or that new mom you know. If that's the case, please follow me on your favorite podcast platform if you haven't already. Give me a 5-star rating and leave a review sharing your favorite takeaway so far. You can do all of that by going to ratethispodcast.com/secretmomhacks. Don't forget to stop by secretmomhacks.com, where you can find transcripts, resources, and more. Make sure you enter your email address over there and subscribe for free so every episode is delivered straight to your inbox. Stay tuned for next week's episode, and until then, you've got this, mama.